Okay, ticker traders, we're onto the energy sector today. Oil has been just monstering it up. Weak US dollar mixed with a whole bunch of geopolitical reasons, a little bit of gasoline inventory as well. But the price for Brent and WTI is just at massive highs at the moment. And then looking at the energy market for natural gas on top of that, they've had some massive pulls. I think they had a record inventory draw this week, and then on top of that, the actual inventories have fallen. So you've got massive draw, lower inventories for natural gas. So at the moment, the energy market's just in complete bullish territory. So let's break it down. Let's look at some of these items here at the moment. Let's look at WTI. Now, there's been a lot of talk that with this the price of WTI, it's definitely into shale territory. The closest it gets to $70 US, the shales are really looking. Shale oil is definitely looking like a proposition maker, and that's what's going to be interesting. No matter what happens on a geopolitical landscape, US is producing a lot of oil. It did have a massive, the crack spread between WTI and Brent middle last year was getting quite big, and that's come back down as US has lifted production, OPEC's cut production, but then of course OPEC's going to have an issue of other nations cutting their production if they see the US is just upping theirs, which is going to keep the price down low anyway, and the whole thing that OPEC wants is a higher price. So as you can see, I mean, this is on the 4 hour at the moment. You can safely go long oil at the moment, I believe. Some people are saying that it can't sustain above 65, but I think that on top of this, you've got issues of Iran and Trump making comments about the Iran and on Friday the sanctions for them, which I think passed about any changes at the moment, but you just don't know what's going to go there. Venezuela, their production just continually drops as well, and then if there's any further disturbance in the Middle East, the price is just going to keep going. So I don't think we've really seen the end of this rally at all, and as you can see, it sort of has gone up. This on the 4 hour, it has gone up at like a reasonably decent rate, a few little pullbacks here and there, but essentially it hasn't just spiked up crazy and then just leveled. It's been this nice continual upward shift. So I wouldn't be surprised if this week we see over 65, 66 maybe, definitely a few dollars in it. Whether it's going to push towards 70 this week, that's a big ask. It'd have to be something that happened maybe with Iran, maybe an announcement. Venezuela's pretty much been priced in. I think people are just expecting that economy, and with them at the moment just not to be a factor in the price. As of now, it's already been factored in. So you can see WTI sitting around the 64.30 mark, and then on to Brent. That's up on the 70, and whether that's going to push to the 72, $73 mark. The thing is, where it ended on the week, if you look down at the RSI is only 65. It wasn't like the RSI booted up to 80 or something crazy and have a massive end of week rally that ended up there. I mean, it's 65, so even if it sat around there, I mean, the longer it sits around 70, the RSI will actually drop, which means it's more of a chance of heading up again. So this week for oil, we're definitely bullish. It's just going to depend on the entrance to that, of what price you're looking to enter at. What I will probably be doing is keeping in mind, if we go back to WTI, it did have this profit consolidation here before that one. Whether that's sort of the next leg up, I'll zoom in on that and we'll move to the 1 hour actually, because that might be able to see a bit clearer, just sort of where we are. So I had this sort of end of week profit taking really. There's no reason for it to really fall back. And then once it got back around, towards his 63, touched just above it, it bounced up again. So, is this new support? I mean, you can see I went sideways around here for about a day. So that's where it's one of these things. You can buy into oil, be prepared to hold it if it bounces back. I mean, who knows? It could bounce back to 62. Doubt it, but it's the market. Nothing's guaranteed. But I'll definitely be looking to get into oil this week. Again, as I said last week though, with the other week when I was back around here, I wanted to wait till it came off a little bit before I bought, and I missed it, which is fine. I'm more than happy to miss profits at the expense of booking a loss. So again, this week it ended up on a high. I want to see if it comes back to sort of that 63.50 mark, something around there. Then I'll be looking getting into it. But as always, I'll check the fundamentals. There's no buy-in that's guaranteed. So yeah, but definitely oil at the moment. Is just a very bullish market. Now, if you're not so sure about getting into oil, gasoline's the one you want to look at. So I'm going to go over to the proper graph, because this is where I trade my gasolines. It's my demo account. Of course, is the is plus 500. This is where I like to trade my gasoline futures on this one. So once it comes up again. So if you are trading, I mean, always look at the contract expiries. But here at the moment, we're in Feb. It doesn't roll over till, going to have a sort of week and a bit on gasoline. So what that means is, though, this is on the 4 hour at the moment. You can see again gasoline's ridden up with the price rise in oil. Just keep in mind at the moment, though, that the demand for gasoline is not amazing, not bad, sort of sitting around, and the inventory, though, the stockpile of gasoline has actually been up. So I was worried that gasoline was kind of going to come off the boil because there was just so much inventory building, but with the price of oil, it definitely justifies a higher price in gasoline. The other week I even shorted it when it was $1.80, and it went back here, $1.80, and it went down. Is that the $1.74? Sorry, up around here. Sorry, yeah, this little short here was nice, but this is why if you're going to short against a market, it's really about just taking a quick profit and getting out, because you're one of these people. You're just taking your profits and running. So this week, gasoline always finds sort of a price, and it gets a resistance, and then it sort of goes back and then boots it. So I think that's what you're going to find here. You've got this resistance around the $1.85 mark. What I would expect on Monday, Americans had got their Martin Luther King holiday. It's really tough. It could open and just boom up, or it could bust back. Again, with the gasoline, I'm tempted to just wait and see the market a little bit. I want it to come back down a little bit before I buy into it. Now, would I short gasoline? No way at the moment. There's just no reason for that to be happening with the price, even though inventory is up. And then we're going to the other energy sector, looking at natural gas, and this you can just see that boom. If you got in down here when these prices were crazy at the end of last year, I couldn't believe when I saw it at $2.58. And we were future trading, so it was based on a warmer January, warmer Feb. But then with the cold cyclone bomb and everything that's happening at the moment, I think people are starting to realize that maybe the weather's a little bit later. So yes, a warmer December and maybe overall a warmer winter. But that's not doesn't mean there's going to be these weather events that are just going to just smash so much cold and just put that demand for natural gas up, through the roof. Now, here's some interesting things with natural gas. That was basically last week. So they had the largest storage withdrawal on record. So that's how much was taken out of reserves. And that was, even though we're trading on futures, remember that because they see these draws at some point, that has to be put back in. So yeah, that was phenomenal. If you care about the numbers, where are we? It's got to be in there somewhere. There we go, decline, sorry, right in front of me. Declined by 359. So there was a forecast of 318. So you sort of look at that, and the previous record was only 287. So the forecast was going to be higher than the record, and then the actual was even higher than the record. So I think with natural gas, we're going to be bullish, and I really think that if you put it in with this one, the storage volume falls. So on top of that, massive draws. But the amount of volume that's in there at the moment is like the actual physical stock. So forget how much it's fallen by. The actual physical inventory is down as well. It really is going to lend to price support for natural gas at the moment. And sorry, I did forget to say before that we've this is the inventory we're looking at for gasoline for the years. It might be a bit hard to see. Basically, though, up here was 2017, so you can see that how much the inventories of gasoline smashed down. So that's what I was saying, that even though gasoline inventories have been increasing, the price of oil was probably still going to support an increase in gasoline price. So energy markets at the moment is definitely a bull for me. Again, watching where I'll get into it. There was a nice bit of rally on natural gas on Monday. See what happens at the start of the week. But if there's some profit taking back around the $3, 15 mark, I'll definitely be looking at that. And then I want to bring over here, I've got the euro to US pair, just because I think it's important to see that part of the issue, well, not the issue, part of the reason oil prices too, for say WTI, is just that the US dollar at the moment is so weak. Number of reasons, but their economy is doing well. You would expect it to be higher. Obviously, there's some political reasons that keeping the US dollar subdued, but you look at that. That's just phenomenal for that euro US pair heading up there. In fact, if we go back on the let's go back on the daily for euro to US and bring it out. That just gives an idea. I mean, so when are we back here? So this is back, this is 2015, so if you care, but you can see this has traded for the past sort of 2 years around here, and then you know, you can see where that's going. So there's definitely weakness in the US dollar as well, which is going to support the oil price, further support the gasoline price, and then on top of that, with natural gas, that price is purely going to be supported because the amount of draw at the moment is massive, and that inventory is going to have to be pulled back at some point. So even if the demand drops off, the demand from the end user, there's still going to be demand from the stockpilers. So yeah, so watch your positions. You know, always minimize your risk. And if you are looking at getting into anything out the bat, I would say just wait out. Just remember, America does have their public holiday on Monday, so I'll wait and see what happens with that. But out of all of those at the moment, probably gasoline is my favorite to jump into, and natural gas. Just give them natural gas though that the contract expiry, when it does come up, we move into the March. Just keep in mind that that price could come down very quickly once the contracts expire. You're looking into March at warm weather, and you know, once that demand drops off, I am interested to see if natural gas is going to get towards the three. Let's go back to that. Sorry, if natural gas. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. It's just all so exciting. Yeah, here we go. So this is what I was looking at before. So that was the 14th of November, but I wanted to go back to here. So you can see, so that was the 20th of the 9th. So it's hit around that $3.15 before it's bumped up to that. And then if we keep rolling back, it wasn't until here, which was actually the 15th of the 5th, that, okay, it's in the stratosphere. So let's just pull this back a little bit. Where are we? Okay, so back here where we hit $5.33. Could we hit that again? I think the one thing that's going to keep a lid on natural gas is once the demand comes off, there is so much oil being produced at the moment. A lot of time, the byproduct of oil is natural gas. So I think what you're going to find is that $3.50 is looking good, maybe even high as $4 if this demand just keeps smashing it. But I think once we get some warm weather and that demand drops off, there could be some massive market down. I certainly wouldn't short natural gas at the moment, definitely longing it. But the closer it gets up to this, let's go crazy, the $5 mark, that's short for me. But I'm just not so sure it's going to be able to get there. But at the moment, if you are going to short natural gas, I'd say that if you do it and you get a profit, get out. Don't stay in it too long. Make some money. But overall, you know, I'm obviously long in it. So there's your market report. See what happens. You know, I'll still be trading on the Monday or tomorrow, even with the American public holiday. But as always, I'll be careful to see what happens at open. If there has been any jumps, always look at the fundamentals. Even though I'm long, doesn't mean if you see a price shoot up, there might be a nice short opportunity. Checking my RSI, and above everything else, always protecting my equity per trade. So all the best, and we'll chat soon.